Yeah, we are recording. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Top of the
We're,
morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever the heck it is when you're watching this.
yeah, we're going to talk about reference maps and some layout details too.
So it's sort of basic things, but we're actually going to show you a few little advanced features in this. I think they're kind of advanced, like halos and stuff that you'll use so much that you'll think, oh, well, this is just a basic principle, but it makes your maps a lot more readable. And anyway, so we are just going to jump right into the software here because that's how we roll.
Better to see it in action sometimes.
Yep, there it is, ArcGIS Pro. So
Oh,
I already have a project open here, and this is showing districts in the state of California at different with different types of districts. So we have the assembly districts. I've got the state senate districts, and yes, I am symbolizing them differently. And then I have LA County supervisorial districts, which is down here, right?
so you said symbolizing them differently. So the ones with the same outline and the hollow middle, those are single symbol, right? And then the ones with the different colors are you're symbolizing by unique values, right?
Because all values are unique to us. That's another matter. And then here we have for one of our local cities, the city of Carson, where I was the GIS manager many moons ago. Here's their
For
district,
many moons as well.
many moons. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to use this as our example today to play with and look at all the different things we can do. Which I'm going to start off by looking at something here. First, let's go to that, which is bookmarks. And so there's the bookmark guy. And so you can see I've set up three different bookmarks. So like if I want all of LA County, and this is just really handy if you're, particularly if you're zooming in and out on stuff and you just want to go back to the particular zoom level that you have already set up and have it pan to the right place. So it's not like that or like that. But anyway, um,
Yeah, it's really handy to get in the habit once you get it to where you want it and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's the view." That's when you want to jump out and make a bookmark.
so I'm going to set you an example here looking at Senate districts in the state of California. And you can see there's a lot of them in Southern California. And because there's in this area here is like over 10 million people. So, and the state total is like 38 million. So, more than a quarter of the population of the state lives in this county. So, let's say I want to have that zoom to a particular point there where I can see the Ventura County, LA County, Los Angeles County, that is, and Orange County. Some of those cities. Also, heck, I going all the way to Riverside County and San Bernardino County. Um, our counties tend to be large in California, but that's another topic for another day. Um, okay, so then bookmark, just easy, new bookmark. And I could just call it, I can call it anything I want. It's just used for your internal purposes. So I can call it Greater LA or Senate districts. And then say, okay, and then I would have a new bookmark here. So now if I zoom to LA County specifically, and then I say, oh, I want that one where I showed the other ones. Or if more likely, I zoom down to look at something. There's City of Santa Monica, a lovely place. And now I want to go back to where I was. There's a couple ways to do that. You can use this guy here to zoom to your previous extent. But let's say it's been a while since you were at that point and you moved all around. Just do bookmark. And there we go. Boom. There we go.
It's a good time saver,
It is.
effort saver.
Yeah. Oh, so what is a reference map? A reference map is just uh, like, where is that map? That's my explanation. I don't know. Do you have anything better than that?
No, it's not doing anything really in depth. It's kind of a basic, the lay of the land kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you may think is all you're going to do in GIS is make a map of something like, oh, no, 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 no. You're going to do way more than that. Your friends and neighbors will be amazed.
Yeah, it
Um,
gets a lot more fun from here.
yeah, even your dog will be amazed, although my dog's asleep. So I don't know. He's not so amazed anymore. Okay, so um, what do we, okay, so symbology, some things to show you here. Let's look at assembly districts. So I'm going to turn off the Senate districts. So I'm symbolizing this just with a color, where each one has its own color. So let's look here. Some
And they're
right
just
click on it.
random colors though. So,
Yep. Symbology. And then you have all these color schemes to choose from, or you can make your own.
oh,
Um,
that's the most fun.
you know, so it, it really just depends on, what kind of an image you're trying to create. So
Mhm.
let's see how that looks. Let's,
Yeah, and the fun part is you can just keep trying different ones and it'll change them really quick on the fly so you can get a
yeah,
look at it and then you go, oh no, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back and try something else.
yeah, or that clashes with my hair today, or whatever it may be. But it's just really easy to do this. And later on, we'll get into how to change these. I'm going to show you real quick anyway. Oh, there's black and white versions. So in our list of bad maps that we use later in the fun of things, we show maps that were designed to be used in color that are being presented in black and white. That's bad because you just cannot tell for the life of you what it's trying to say.
But you can design a map in black and white to have an effect where you show like a feature in red or yellow or something that sticks out. Um, so you can always do that as well. They're not always bad in black and white.
Yeah, it can be entirely appropriate. Oh, and here's a cat to help. Hello and goodbye. They're so helpful. Um, yes, I am at my office, but my office happens to be at home because it's the modern world, right?
And he,
And I'm
he
going to
loves
show
an
you this real quick,
audience.
which we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's how we roll. You know, it's very easy to change these colors, and you can get all kinds of crazy on this. Um, and it's just a really neato thing. You can use the color picker here. And like one of my favorites is, see these have names, Mars red, poinsettia red, and so on, which is handy because then when you, on another layer, you want to use the same thing, you can just remember what it's called. Besides that, you'll quickly have your favorites. But
Oh,
it's
will
really
you
easy
go
to,
into like the HSV and the
yeah.
RG?
And here's the other way to do it is you have these different modes, RGB, which is what a monitor
Red,
uses,
green, blue.
hue, saturation, value, HSL. What's HSL?
I don't know. They've got a couple on there that I don't
There's
recognize.
new ones. The lab is new. Grayscale is obvious. It's going to gray. CMYK, those are ink colors, cyan, magenta, yellow, black,
Yeah.
um, which is used for printing. So you get a particular effect. And yes, I'm still getting help from the beast here. Um,
So it's nice
HS,
because they offer sliders for each of the different elements, but they
yeah.
also have where you can type in a value as well. So often I will do a screen print of something and get the hex or the RGB value for it, and then you can come in here and type it in to match the exact color.
So um, under hue is the basic color you're using. And so let's say we want something in a greenish. And then saturation is how much of that color you're going to use. And so you can see under the, I was going to point to the screen, that doesn't have much. Under this current thing is showing you where we were and where we're going to be going. But anyway, you can watch that change. And then value is how much black you want to add to that. And so to darken it. And then this guy for a different effect. But that's, I don't even like that they put that in here because I think it just kind of muddies the waters.
Yeah,
That's another matter.
it's not
So
necessary.
ta-da, and then we would have that lovely green color for wherever that is. But that's neither here nor there. It's just to show you that changing colors is easy. You have a lot of control over it. And there are a lot of tools out there to help you pick colors. So, okay. So that's symbology when we're doing just the simple. Yeah, I'll apply that. Sure. We'll go with that pretty color that I made. Yeesh.
Yes.
Um, where
Well,
this is particularly handy, I find, is if you want to make one value just stand out. Like these are fairly muted colors, and if I wanted to make one of them just really pop, and I went with like Mars Red and say apply. And note if you try to leave out of this without applying, it asks you, did you want to apply that? So handy enough. So let's figure out which one is a red. Oh, it's way up here. It's in the San Francisco Bay Area. Okay. But anyway, that's a handy thing for it. Let's get out of that. Um, again, that's when you're doing unique values. And then another one, like I used in the Senate districts, is I use single symbol. I'm going to go ahead and mess with these now. And that's where they're all going to be just one thing. And so I could make changes to that. In this case, let's say I wanted to do, I don't know, there's lots of ways you can play with that. I realized we could go down that rabbit hole all day.
yes, we could.
Yeah,
For your sake, we will stop.
yeah. I'm just going to undo that because that is not what we're going to do today.
No, I like that.
Um, or let's say, like for this one with the Senate districts, I'm showing similar data, and now I have it
Oh,
shown
there.
in a
That's
very
that's a
different
single
way.
symbol.
Yeah, so these are single symbol, and what I've done is I've made it no color and then or hollow, and then I've just done a border around it. You can make that border larger or smaller. So let's switch this over here. There we go. I see that single symbol with that. That's the symbol. Sorry. And I have a 1 point outline, and see, I can make it bigger here if I make it like a 3, and you'll see how the map comes out quite a bit different. And also, dare I say it, pretty darn ugly. So it looks now like it was done with a Sharpie.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No Sharpie maps.
Yeah, that's
Sharpie
fun.
maps here. Okay, and then another thing that we should hit at this point is transparency.
Yes.
So let's look at LA County districts where I have set that up. So we're going to do our look at our bookmark here. And I want to do LA County or Law County.
La 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 county.
And here I don't want to have them be sharp. You'll notice I have the border, I have no color to. So, and note that this is still showing Senate districts because that's what I have highlighted over here in the table of contents. But if I click on LA County districts, okay, now that's changed to this thing.
And it always says the name of the layer up at the top. So
Yep. So no need to be confused by it. And you'll notice this is the same color scheme pretty much that we had for the assembly districts, but it looks very different here because I've set a transparency. And the reason why is because I want to be able to see these things underneath it so you can see the cities under there.
yeah, it gives a
So
little context.
Yeah, and so you can see the freeways in LA County. Freeways are how people navigate. Is that east or west of the Harbor Freeway? Is that where's that in relation to the um, San Diego Freeway or whatever? So that's something that's always helpful. And so that's using a base map. We're not getting into base maps today, but base maps are a super duper tool, and they're uh, they make all your maps look very fancy with things that all you have to do is just decide which one you want to use. Okay, so let's look at that transparency. And this is in a strange place. So you have to have the layer highlighted, and then see this comes up here, this feature layer thing. So if I don't have that highlighted, like if say here at map, you notice that doesn't even come up. But if I go to LA County districts, now feature there comes up. These are the context sensitive menus. And then clicking on that, I get this effects set amongst other things. So let's just run through these real quick. So with scale range, you can have, if I zoom out, that this layer would disappear, which is something I would probably want to do if I was using this for something else, because I don't need to have that showing while I'm showing Senate districts, for example, and I could just have it automatically appear and disappear.
And the best example of that is Google Maps. They do a wonderful job of that, where when you're zoomed out, there's hardly any points, but as you zoom in and in and in, more and more points come up for different things because they have it set so that at certain zoom levels, certain things turn on.
And so here's
Yeah.
transparency, and you can see I have the transparency on this layer set pretty high. Again, that's my intent. And it's just a slider tool, or I can type something in here. I can type, if I know from experience that I want 85, I just type 85. Or if you have an exact level that you want to get to, so it matches a bunch of other maps that you've done. So here it is in total prettiness. And frankly, that is gaudy. Maybe that's the
Yes.
best word for it. But see, if I make it, as I make it more transparent, you still want it to be visible, but and this is one of those things that you can just play with and decide what you like.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into feature
Yeah.
blend at this point, but it's pretty cool to be able to, like if you have something that has like this, that has a lot of topography here for the Santa Monica Mountains, you can add that like topography element into your other layers. It's very neat, but too
Yeah.
soon. Swipe is if you have two layers and you want to like drag back and forth between them, which these are used generally in conjunction like with aerial photography or something like that. Symbology, we've already seen. Definitely not going to look at these things at this point. Extrusion, nope, nobody uses that. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure somebody uses that.
We won't be using.
We will not be using that in this book. Okay. So we've set our transparency. I changed the level a bit from where it was. That's all hunky-dory.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Okay, so, oh, labels. Let's look at that now.
Yeah, they look really good right there like
LA
that.
County.
That's the base map though, right?
Yeah. And this base map is called World Topographic Map. And because I know somebody's already thinking it, you say, how can I change base maps? Pretty easy. Here, under map, base map.
Yeah. And there's so many choices.
Just look.
Leave
Just look at all that.
what
And
works
there's new
best for
ones all
your
the
map.
time. Here's one I haven't used, outline map. That's a new guy. Um, and some of these are what they sound like the newspaper map. Looks like a map out of a newspaper.
Yeah.
There's the National Geographic style map. Who wouldn't like their maps look like National Geographic, right? And then there's this
I
guy,
do
the
when I
light gray.
travel. When I
Yeah,
do travel maps, I like that.
I love them. So it's just a little much for some things.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to switch between these. I'm just going to do this real quick. We're going to look at light gray canvas. And we'll probably do this again in a later chapter, but because some people have already seen
It's
this
a
and are already
sneak
wondering about it.
preview. Ooh.
Light gray canvas is nice and clean so that your layer shows up really well. Can't say the performance on it is great today, but that's another matter. So
No. Yeah, the base maps are coming from a server somewhere. So
yeah,
if you were having connectivity problems, then maybe lay off the base map.
yeah. And tell your roommate to turn off their gaming just for a minute. Come on. Yeah, so there's just so many versions of these. Let's go back to something appropriate. I'm just using topographic here to think is appropriate for this.
And it's interesting to know you can't really change any of the properties on the base map. You can't change like a transparency or any of that on the base
Yeah,
maps. They are as is, but they are wonderful and they save a lot of time as Barry and I used to make our background maps from scratch. So
yeah. So you'd
they
have to start by adding the layers in and then build on top of it. We even had to, well, back in the good old days, we had to invent or create our own highway shields. See, like this 710 guy here.
yeah,
Nobody does that now. I'm very happy to say.
but they shouldn't.
It was thoroughly unenjoyable. And then there'd be printing issues. Oh, now I'm having flashbacks. That's not good. Okay, so that is labels. Oh, no, we didn't get into labels. That yeah, here I started talking about labels and then went someplace
Yeah,
else.
that's what
Let's look
base
at
map.
the Senate districts here. And I'm going to turn off the LA County districts. Okay, so turning on the layer. I don't want the symbology pane open right now. Right click on that and see there's this guy labeling properties.
And you can see on the map that there's a little number in the middle of each polygon in red that's showing up now. That's a label. It's the district number.
So you tell it what you want it to make the number based on. And you can do all of these crazy functions here. I don't, but you can. And it uses a scripting language, and you got 4 of them to choose from there, at least today. There's probably going to be more another day, but you don't have to know much about that at all. And so I want to have the label be district. So that's how I have it set up here, the feature district. Okay, easy.
Yeah. And
And
then,
this
yeah,
is
where
where
did you make it red? Yeah, there we go.
right here under symbol. So yeah, I chose red for those. And I chose a size of 7 point, which here it looks very small when it's zoomed in. And if I were going to do just this area, I probably would do something like at least a 16. So what's that look like if I apply that? Oh, that looks pretty good, right? Except here's the problem. Here's your problem. So I don't know if you know this one yet. Right click on a layer and then say zoom to layer. That's one we use all the time. Just
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, that's a mess when you zoom to the whole area, which is why I had it set at the 7 point. So this is a case where your labels, it's a real challenge here to have something that shows the whole state where you have very dense here and dense in the Bay Area. And, if you just want to think about it, there are as many people in this District 1 or in the Mojave Desert in 19 or the Imperial um, county area um, down here by the Mexican border as there are in, well, let's see, if I zoom to the San Francisco area, this is actually going to be multiple in here. So in this one little piece. So it is,
Yeah. And so the labels are now they're so big that they're not even really meaningful,
yeah,
especially in the really urban areas. So you might want to think about not labeling them here and just labeling them once you zoom into like a
yeah.
urban area.
And let me show you the ever important halo. And what
Oh,
does a halo do? A halo puts a little bit of space around your numbers or your text, whatever's in your labels. Actually, you use this in all kinds of text. You can put a label on your map. We'll get back to that later. Um, and it'll make it a lot more readable. So it's one of those things you play with it and you go like, oh yeah, I get it. So there's the instructions on the book of how to do that. And usually you want something white, and then you say how big and so on. Um, Halos are great just to show them there. And again, it's in the book, so play with that and you'll see, especially if it's like against a dark background, that's when it's really, or like on an aerial photo where it's super busy and you just can't see it otherwise. Okay, so with that, I think we are good to go on looking at layouts. Nope, we don't want to do that. Okay, so I've created 4 layouts here, and let's first look at how you create a layout. So you insert a layout. Um, Not how I would have set it up, but whatevs, right? And then you say, how big do you want it to be? And you can see,
basically, yeah, which paper size you want to
yeah,
use.
even though there's something to think about, it may never be on paper. So there are now vast some. It used to be in GIS we printed just about everything we used, right? And had the big plotter to print out, 3 foot wide by 4 foot long maps, and we did a lot of those. Um, or even if it was just letter size. Well, now the vast majority of stuff you do in GIS is an image that is sent to somebody to use in something.
Or PDF.
Yeah. So let's just say letter. Okay. And now we have to go to insert. I know this
Yeah,
is
it
weird.
seems weird to me that
Yeah.
now you have to start inserting the
Now we go to
elements.
insert and you have to put in a map frame
Mm-hmm.
and see you recognize
Bookmarks.
my bookmarks. So my bookmarks are already set up there. How cool is that? Everybody loves that. Let's say we want to do Carson. Okay, and now here's the part you don't expect. Now you have to draw the box. And so you could make it whatever size you want it to be in whatever position on the
Yeah,
paper.
because for me, I click on the map that I want, and then you come back and it's still a blank page, and it's like, well, that was weird. I thought I just picked it, and you did pick it, but then it wants you to draw exactly where you want to put the maps.
Mm-hmm. So now I've uh, put in a map of that area, and here's some things to know. So now, like if I'm moving this around, I'm not moving around my map, right? I'm not moving
Mhm.
around in my map, I should say. I'm moving the map around on the piece of paper, but I'm not changing what I'm showing.
Yeah, the map frame.
So go back to layout, and then we use this guy, activate. And activate now makes this map live. So we could zoom in, and I'm just using the scroll wheel here.
Yeah. So if you
Around,
decide, oh, wait, that bookmark is cutting such and such off, or
yeah,
it's this or that,
yeah.
you could go in and move and tweak it to have the view that you want to show.
And Carson on and Senate districts off. Ta-da. And there it is. But that is something that I consider very illogical.
Yes.
And then to get out of it, back to layout. So you click that guy. That took me a while to find. So
Yeah, that one's another one that's kind of a little bit weird, but
Bonnie and I learned on earlier versions of the software and the version before that. So this is
yeah.
our third major redo of the software.
And
Um,
if we can figure it out, we know you can figure it out.
yes,
So
because our minds are polluted by the way we've always done it.
yeah.
And change is wrong. We all know this. Change is a terrible, terrible thing. Okay, so let's look at some now as some for samples. Okay, so here's one I set up. Oh, how I'm glad this is not set up right because it makes it a good opportunity to do this. Go back to the layout tab here, and you see this guy with the arrows around it, full extent. Zoom to the full extent of the layout. That's,
Oh, no, no, go back. I learned a trick at the conference.
oh, did you?
Yeah, so go back.
Well,
Um,
that's fine. That's wrong.
just on on your keyboard, click insert.
Insert. Wow.
No matter where you are, no matter it brings you back to center. I
Okay,
had no idea, so it's my new go-to trick.
let's try that again. Insert.
So if you're zoomed in because you want to play with the legend or whatever, and then you get your legend just right the way you want it, then you want to go back out to full page. You don't have to go back out,
Yeah,
out, out.
that's
Just hit,
cool.
just hit the insert key.
Okay, so let's look at these guys now. And I have each one set up with the extent that I want, and I have some elements on each one. They're different than the others, as we will see. Okay, so um, here's assembly districts. Let's actually, and note that it does not turn on the layer for you because like well, it doesn't know what you want to do there. So it just knows you want that legend or want that layout. Okay, so we recognize this one. Oh, those colors are a bit much. And this legend is, of course, absurd because,
Yeah.
like, what's the difference between that one and say that one? Now you may be able to tell the difference, but I can't. My color acuity isn't that good. And I
Yeah.
will say in general, and this isn't something I made up, but in general, men have a poorer color acuity than women do. Um, Men have a lot more color blindness, just to add to the fun. My dad was partly colorblind, so um, anyway, so this legend is not useful. Let's not
No.
pretend it is. All we have on here, this is a simple map though, that it just shows the boundaries of the district is really what I wanted to get by. It's got a title to it, legend, and this is called service layer credits.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that's in the base map. Okay.
The sourcing of it.
Yeah, the sources of it. Here, let's zoom in.
Yeah. So they're giving credit to the people who made this service layer.
All these fine people. Okay, now let's look at my Senate districts one and see, note that it jumps to the point that it was when I last saved it. Okay, turn on the right layer, turn off that, turn on that. There we go. And you note on this one, the legend is very simple because it's just showing the outlines, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
And you can see the little bounding box on it as well.
yeah, see that little blue box there. Again, this is not really useful for showing that. And then this includes a bunch of text that I have about how the Senate districts were created. So through the Citizens Redistricting Commission. Very exciting. I was on a redistricting commission for the school district. And boy, was that a lot of work. Okay.
You can also add a north arrow. You can add, like I have a logo for my job, and I can add that picture of the logo onto your layout. You can add all kinds of things to enhance
Yeah.
the
Uh,
map.
Scale bar is another one.
Yeah, scale
You
bar.
know, as a matter of fact, we go here, insert, and then we have all this stuff here that go in there, and then graphics and text.
Mhm.
Okay, now some people, and I saw this online recently when I was looking for a source on something. It was an instructor. They said every map must have these elements. It must have a legend. It must have a title. It must have service layer credits. It must have a north arrow and it must have a scale bar. Why? Do you need a
No.
scale bar on this map? No. Anyway, so some boss may require you to do that, and you can nod politely and put on whatever it is that they want, but you know better. And if you're the boss, you definitely know better. All right, there.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had this little talk. Okay, now I've done another version. This is the LA County supervisorial districts. There are 5 supervisors. And let's see. So you live in the 2nd district, and I live in the 4th district. You being Bonnie, not you, the,
That's what I figured.
yeah. So this one we added I got the hiccups. We added the scale bar too.
Mhm.
And notice I have it in generally even numbers. So like 20 miles. Now, getting both pieces of it, this is a new thing, by the way, this one that allows you to do
Like
the metric
miles
and
and
imperial together. That's a new guy. So, and you have all of these cool things that you can set on it. All right.
yeah.
Um, but this is a case where I decided to put it in. As far as I'm concerned, a north arrow is useful when it's not obvious. A scale bar is useful where it's not obvious. You know what else this map doesn't have? It doesn't have a title. Why? Because the title is in the legend, because it's simple. So the more stuff you add, the more confusion you add to your map.
Yeah. And I would say for the North Arrow, if your audience is someone in these counties or in LA County, then you don't really need a North Arrow. But if you're showing this to people in South Carolina, you probably do need a North Arrow on there for them. So
The other SC,
yes, it varies by your audience.
not that we have anything against South Carolina.
No.
Um, Okay, and then the final one here is the Carson City Council districts. So again, back in my table of contents, I'm going to turn that off, turn on the Carson Council districts, of which they have 4. And again, this is a clean, simple map. Not a lot to it. Yes, I've added some transparency to the layers. It definitely makes them clearer.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And this one's simple because there's only 4. So using 4 different colors, easy. There's just not much to it. I am not known for making beautiful maps. I will say, though, that base maps have made my maps a heck of a lot prettier than they used to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that covers our list. Anything else you can think of?
No, I think that should do it. That's kind of a layout's basic.
So that is it for chapter 2. And yeah, we covered a lot of stuff in there, but enjoy, and we'll see you in chapter 3.
All right. Thanks.